All right, great. We're live. Well, hey, everybody. As you know, my name's Graham Matthews, and I run Empowered STEM. And Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider. And we provide A-level courses in chemistry, biology, physics, and maths for those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So, today I wanted to come in and I wanted to talk about this topic, understanding the A-level curriculum, what every parent needs to know. So this is kind of a deep dive on this one because we hear this all the time. Parents say to us, Graham, I really want to support my teen. They're taking A-level chemistry or biology or maths. They're getting overwhelmed by it. They're coming home from sixth form college and they're not getting the results on the exam that they are used to getting. And there's crying fits and they're upset and they're frustrated and they want to throw the towel in. And of course, as a parent, well, I'm getting frustrated as well because I don't know what to do to help them out. I mean, some parents say, I've never taken A-level chemistry. I didn't. Other parents go, Graham, I'm so busy. I've got a full-time job. I'm running the house. I've got other kids I've got to raise. And, well, sometimes teenagers, they don't want to listen to their mum or their dad, do they? And so I just don't know what to do. Well, luckily for you, I'm here today to help you simplify this and help you put a game plan together to help your teen out. Now, I can say this because we've worked with numerous teens, hundreds and hundreds of teens in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, and maths over the years. And the one story that comes to mind is of Harry, the student, and his mum, Anne, lovely woman. I had a conversation with them, and they said this. Anne said, you know what, Graham? I'm so annoyed. I'm just at my wit's end. What am I going to do? My son, Harry, he was on the call with her. Well, all he wanted to do was just be a vet. And he took A-level chemistry at his sixth form college. And I didn't know this because, well, you know how teenage boys are. And I said, he used to be one. Well, he never said that his A-level chemistry teacher was off sick for most of the 2 years. But really? So he never had an A-level chemistry teacher. What they used to do is just give him a worksheet to do. So go down to the library and work it out yourself. And if you have any questions, I guess, come up and ask the technician. Well, surprisingly enough, Graham, he didn't do too well. He didn't tell me. He took the exam, and guess what? He earned a D. And he said, you know what? When he came in and he sat on that settee and he looked at me and he had the report card in his hand and he said, Mum, what am I going to do with a D? There isn't a vet school in the world that would even interview me. I couldn't even get on the list to be interviewed, let alone be a competitive candidate. What am I going to do? Well, luckily, Anne found us on the internet and she had a call with us. And we enrolled her son Harry in one of our A-level chemistry courses. And he worked 16 weeks and he really worked. He really put in the time, effort, and attention. And when he resat his A-levels, he earned an A. So you went from a D to an A in A-level chemistry in 16 weeks. And then applied to veterinary school. And I'm glad to say that he's now at his veterinary school of choice, and he's studying to be a small animal vet. Now, the reason why I mention this story is because we work with lots and lots of students in all different grade categories, A star, A, B, C, D, And so we have a lot of experience helping out teens just like yours. Okay. Now, the purpose of this talk then is this. The purpose of this talk is that by the end of this talk, what I want you to get is this. I want you to have a really clear understanding of the A-level curriculum, the structure of the exams, and how you can best support your teen. Okay. Now, let's talk about the A-level exams. Just like start out at the top level, top-down approach. The A-level exams. The A-level exams are 2 years in length, which means that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It is a 2-year slog for your teen to get through and earn the A star. Okay. But they're really, really important exams because the A-level exams, look, the A-level exams, the grade that your teen gets on the A-level exams, well, they determine which university they can apply to, which program they can get on into at university, apprenticeships, career paths. This is the importance of A-level exams. And normally students, they take the A-level exams. It's always a cluster of subjects. It's a subject specialization that they take. So, for example, we work with a lot of students that want to be medical students. Well, they normally take biology, chemistry, maths. That's what they normally take because this is what most of the top universities who offer medical programs want. The other difference with A-level exams is the more in-depth. And this is the bit now when it starts to get a little bit tricky for your teen, okay? Because GCSE, yes, I'll give them credit. At GCSE, they work really hard at GCSE. They scored that 9 or the 8 at GCSE, which means they can get into a top 6th form college. Absolutely true. But most students, when we talk to them in our onboarding calls or our check-in calls, they do say, well, Graham, GCSE was easy. I'm going to be honest. GCSE, the last 6 months, my mom, my dad made me sit down in the room with a revision guide, a stack of past paper questions, and the textbook. And you know what? If you do enough past paper questions, you get the idea of what the examiner wants. I just walked into the exam hall, spat out all the information that they wanted, walked out, couldn't recall half of what I wrote down, and then, oh, look, I got a 9. When it comes to A levels, it's a lot more in depth. Okay, so it isn't a surface level understanding they need of the topic. It's an actual in-depth understanding that they need of the topic, which brings us on to the next bit. Now we understand what A levels are, how critical A levels are. Now we need to have a look at the exam board that your teen is studying under. And you go, well, Graham, I mean, to be honest, what does it matter what exam board that they're studying under? I mean, on all exam boards the same. Good question. Yes and no. You go, oh, well, Graham, that's a politician's answer. Yes and no. Which one is it? Well, yes. At the end of the day, your teen gets their qualification in, say, for example, A-level chemistry, right? And when they pop off to university, they passed A-level chemistry, which means that they're in the initial university level chemistry class. It isn't, well, you took AQA, you're in this class over here at university for chemistry, you took OCR, you're in this one, you took Edexcel, no, you're in this group over here. No, they're all in the same class together at university, no matter what exam board they studied under for the A-level chemistry. But the slight differences in the exam boards in terms of the type of questions that they ask. So AQA, really popular with A-level chemistry. And it's more a balance of knowledge recall and application. So I'm going to go deep here a minute. Think Bloom's taxonomy. Go, well, what on earth is Bloom's taxonomy? Okay, look, there's different levels of questioning. The most basic level of questioning is recall, like fact recall. As in, what's the mass of hydrogen? Right, fact recall. Above recall, the next level up in difficulty would be application, where, yes, here's this type of question, you got all this information, all right, can you apply it? But solve the formula for a variable and then put it, put the information into the formula, turn the crank, and you got the answer. Right. This is what I mean by application versus recall. We're starting to climb the ladder, of difficulty. So this is AQA. Now, the next one then is OCR. Now, OCR is really popular for those students who are taking A-level biology. With A-level biology, under OCR, a little bit more difficult in the types of questioning, because what they're really going after with the OCR version of A-level biology is critical thinking and evaluation. You go, okay, Graham, give me an example of critical thinking and evaluation then. Well, critical thinking would be, you have a graph, for example, you have a graph, or you have a table of data, and what you need to do is you need to look at the trends in the graph or the trends in the table of data, and then answer a question. So it's not a straightforward recall, it's more critical thinking. All right, think about it. You've got to think about the concepts and everything else. And evaluation would be something like, for example, an evaluation question. I'll stick with chemistry on this one. An evaluation question would be, right, why did the precipitate form in this solution with these two reagents as compared to this solution with these two reagents? All right. The more synoptic questions. Synoptic questions. Graham, you're really pulling out the big words today, aren't you? Right. Synoptic questions, what it means is that the longer questions, and what you've got to do is you've got to piece together all of the different concepts, look at all of the graphs, look at all of the tables of data all at once, and then you've got to start putting it all together. Classic example is year 12 and year 13. All right. So in year 13, what they may do is about, say, gene expression or something. They may link it back to a question in year 12 and say, well, this is a synoptic link. You've got to put the two concepts together from one year and the next. Really popular with biology. Okay. Because obviously the biology A-level, what they're really doing is that they're deciding, are you able to handle the rigors of medical school? Okay. Edexcel, last one we'll do on this one. Edexcel, popular with physics.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
So Edexcel is popular with physics, and unfortunately the AI didn't know what the answer was. All right. It's more structured around the textbook, meaning the textbook is very, very laid out. It's very well organized. All right. And so the questions coming from the exam, they do tend to be more predictable. Okay. It's like, yes, I'm not going to say that they mirror and match the questions exactly in the textbook, but the more finite, they kind of follow the sequence of the textbook. Now, okay, Graham. And so different exam boards, AQA, OCR, Edexcel. Why is this important? Because, parents, this is important because it's going to determine the style of exam questions that your teen will see on the exam. For example, OCR, they'll see more synoptic questions. You have to link topics from year 12 and year 13 or multiple topics together, multiple concepts together in 1 year, versus application questions for AQA, which is more knowledge recall, application, apply the knowledge, and then you've got the answer. So it's going to determine the exam style question that your teen will see, which means that, and this is the important bit, this is the crucial bit, which means that it's going to impact the time management and the revision techniques. You say, well, Graham, time management, what on earth do you mean? Well, it's this. If you're studying A-level chemistry under AQA, you may be able to say, well, I'm going to block out 30 minutes of time here, and I'm going to study multiple choice questions for those 30 minutes. Or I'm going to block out an hour of time here, and what I'm going to do is I'll just do the application-based questions. Whereas if you're doing biology under OCR, synoptic questions, it may take you a good hour to 90 minutes to get through 3 or 4 synoptic questions. Okay, so you've got to block out your time that you spend studying, revising each week based on the type of exam board that you're studying under, as well as revision techniques. Okay, now this one comes from one of our tutors uses this, and it's a beautiful, beautiful example of dual coding from neuroscience. And what he does is this, is that he teaches A-level biology, and he has his notes, which he gives the students, and certain concepts are coded in yellow, like keywords of certain concepts are coded in yellow, and keywords of certain concepts are coded in green. Maybe some are coded in orange. So he's continually revising, going through his notes. And what he's seeing is that he's seeing all the yellow words, they obviously link together, and all of the green highlighted words linked together, and all of the orange highlighted words linked together. So he's able to track the different concepts going through his notes. Whereas you wouldn't necessarily have to do that for A-level chemistry and AQA. You could just say, right, I'm going to do a question, and I'll do every type of question, every variation of this question I can think of, I can find, to make sure that I get the application of it down. All right. Now, you say, well, okay, Graham, so yeah. Exam board links into how my teen studies, but what are the challenges that they face with A-levels as compared to GCSEs? Well, first off, number one is it's an increased workload and independent study. So let's break this down a little bit. Increased workload. At GCSE, no parents, you've got to leave me a comment on this one. At GCSE, your teen studied, but maybe not as much as they did at A-level. You know, you can ask them, have you done your homework? Have you studied today? Have you revised when they're taking GCSEs? They go, yes, Mom. Yes, Dad, I did. Right. Whereas with A-levels, all of a sudden, You don't see them anymore. They're always in the room studying. Like, what are you working on? Well, I'm writing up a lab report, or I've got this test coming up, or I got this homework set I've got to do. And yeah, they're up there on the weekends, studying late at the night. The workload has increased. True, there's a huge jump in workload between GCSE and A level. The next one is this: independent study. At GCSE parents, your teen was basically told what to do. I mean, when you think about it, they were told, this is your timetable of lessons for the week. And the teacher would say, right, this is your homework. It's due on this day. And at the end of the lesson, they would say, right, you all understand that this is the homework and it's due on this day, right? Okay. And then the next day, so the homework's due at the end of the week. You know, are we working on it? Everybody knows homework's due at the end of the week. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right. So basically, they're handheld through GCSEs. But when it comes to A level, no, they don't get that connection with the teacher. The teacher may say, well, here's your homework. It's due in 7 days. Right, let's carry on then. Next topic. And they don't mention it again. They don't check in with the students and say, well, you know, did you do your homework? Right. Also, the teacher at GCSE, they're more likely to keep going over concepts that your teen will see in the homework in the class. And so if they pay attention in class, well, then they get all the information that they need in order to get the homework done. Whereas with A level, the teacher, well, they may discuss the concept, do a couple of example questions, and then it is your teen's responsibility to go out there and find past paper questions to make sure that for an application question, they've done every variation of the application question they possibly can. Or this is in A-level chemistry, or for A-level biology, they've done every synoptic question. They've memorized everything they should have memorized over and over again, right? Is also the other challenge they have is this, is that it's known as conceptual depth and complexity, meaning this: the topics, they may have seen the topic. Let's go back to chemistry. They may have seen the topic in A-level chemistry, in GCSE chemistry, kind of lightly gone over it, a surface level understanding, a couple of basic calculations were needed. All of a sudden, at A level, they go into great conceptual depth. All right, so I'm thinking, example would be gas laws, possibly at GCSE. Yeah, a couple of easy questions on gas laws, go over the concept to make sure that they understand it. Whereas in A level, it's really, really difficult questions that they can ask on gas laws. You know, you can have two glass flasks connected together by a tube, and you can start talking about the pressure in one and the pressure in the other one. All right, so it's a much deeper understanding of the concept is needed. And also the questions that they can ask you gets more and more complicated, more complex in A levels. As well as, well, the ever-present exam pressure and assessment methods. You know, I mean, think about it. Your teen is always under pressure. It's like, well, got this homework set due next week. I got this test next week. I got to get this lab report in. Right. This is just for chemistry. Oh, it's the same thing for biology. I've got this. I got this test to do. I've got this homework set to do. This exams to do. Oh, I've got my UCAS exams coming up. Oh, I've got my mock exams coming up. Same thing for maths. And so you start to pile on 3 A levels, and they all have homework. They all have tests. They all have exams. There's constant assessment, constant exams. It does start to build up for your teen. The pressure starts to build up, as well as this one, the common pitfalls that as at Empowered STEM, we see all the time. You know, the most common pitfall that we see, lack of organization. Yeah, it's easy. It's the most common trap that we see students fall into. They walk right into it because what they're used to is at GCSE, everything being organized for them. The teacher says when the homework is due, the teacher gives you the handout, or it's in the book. All right, another handout if you lost this one. Whereas at A level, all of a sudden you get this huge volume of knowledge just coming at you. It's a difference between drinking from a hose pipe and drinking from a fire hose. All of a sudden you're thinking, I've got all of this knowledge coming in. I've got all these handouts, all of these PDFs, all of these homework sets, all these past papers. I got to get everything organized. Yeah, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Now, the question is, parents, then, how exactly can you support your teen? Well, first off, number one, I would say help them get organized. I mean, seriously, just buy out Amazon. You know, get the 3-ring binders, get the dividers, get the plastic sheet protectors, get them the pencil case with all the pens and the pencils and the calculator in it. All right, help them map their day out, put a study plan together. Well, this is what we do at Empowered STEM, by the way, but help them put it together because they can waste so much time at sixth form college thinking, oh, well, I got a free period. Now what I'll do is I'll just hang out with my friends. I'll just decompress. And then the time they get the bus or the tube or the train home, well, then they have tea and everything else. And then you're thinking, oh, well, you know, now it's getting on a little bit late. And of course, they're thinking, well, what do I do? Do I do chemistry? Do I do biology? Do I do maths? Right. So number one, help them get organized. Number two, help them with a structured study plan, okay, that they can see, yes, if the homework is due on this day, I've got to get it done on this day. And they've got to somehow put in all the different tests and homework set and exams for 3 A levels. Number two, give them some emotional support. Yes, teenagers, they're not that chatty, especially the boys. They're not going to tell you if they're getting frustrated or angry or whatever. What they need some emotional support. They don't need somebody telling them that they've done it wrong. Like, oh, this is the best you could do on this grade. Is it? Well, why didn't you study more? No, what they need is they need a confidant that they can talk to and say, you know what, I'm getting really overwhelmed at school. I'm getting really frustrated with this. I don't know how to get out of this situation. I just need to vent. I need somebody to be my support person, right? And that, parents, that's you, okay? Also, help them put together effective study plans. Now, with an effective study plan goes hand in hand with effective study techniques. Now, what we do at Empowered STEM is we teach your teen effective study techniques because, again, you know, you can have the best study plan in the world, parents. Your teen sits down and they don't have effective study techniques. They don't know how to read the textbook. They don't know how to take notes at the university level. They don't know how to study for the tests. They don't know how to put the concepts together for the homework. They don't know how to revise for upcoming exams. Absolutely, that time, that hour, that 90 minutes that they spend, well, it's kind of wasted, right? As compared to somebody that had effective study techniques. Okay. And also consider parents utilizing additional resources. It's completely okay for you to step outside of the school system, outside of the sixth form college that may not be supporting your teen in the best way possible for them to secure the A or the A star in the A-level maths and science classes. And if you're, to be frank about it, if your teen is sitting at anything lower than an A, well, then there's some improvements got to be needed, right? In the support department, in the teaching from the sixth form college. If they're in the A levels and they're sitting at a C or lower, well, then absolutely there's something going on that's not quite right. So, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, I did say, in complete transparency, I did say that we offer A-level courses in A-level maths and A-level science. And so you may want to consider checking out an outside course provider, okay, to get your teen the support that they need. Now, the next thing you say, well, okay, but Graham, what exactly can I do right now to help my teen? What exactly can I do? Well, number one is you can talk to your teen. You can have a conversation with them and find out how is it going emotionally, and how is it going from the organizational and the study side of things. And you can help them put a study plan together. Help them map the week out. Put it on the fridge in the kitchen so they see what they're going to be doing every day. Help them with that. You can research out the different exam boards. Now, I said at the beginning that the exam board your teen is studying under is really, really important, right? You know the differences between the exam boards, all right, because it leads into the type of questions that they can be asked. And just be that support channel for them, that emotional support channel. Because look, it's a 2-year exam. Parents, you know that there's going to be ups and downs when it comes to A-level maths and science in 2 years. Everything is just not going to go fantastically well. There's going to be good days and bad days, and they're going to be turning around looking at you for support. And if you want to, what you can do is that you can look at external A-level course providers. Absolutely. Check them out. Why? Because your teen only gets one chance to get the top grade in the A-levels. And A-levels are just so important. They really are, because they determine, like I said, the university they can go to, the program they can get into, what apprenticeship they can get on, their career path. Okay, so A-levels, I think, are probably the most difficult exams in the world to take and the most important ones. So, what I need you to do is reflect on what we talked about today. All right. Think about the A-levels. You think, okay, it's a 2-year exam. You got different types of A-level exam boards. Absolutely. And this is going to impact my teen's future, basically the rest of their lives. And every teen is going to have a different set of challenges. We've worked with hundreds of teens, and every teen is different. Some need more support with organization and study skills to get going. Some need some more support with the concepts. Some need to keep going over the concepts a little bit more until they get a very firm foundation. Others, they may need some support when it comes to exam technique. And every teen needs support when it comes to motivation. So think about your teen, your son, your daughter, and think, what's the unique challenges? What's the unique challenges that my son, my daughter is facing? And how can I best help them? And then think, what's your role in it? Because we've talked to numerous parents, and some parents, they're more hands-on with the teens, meaning they ask a teen every day how it's going in class. Have you done your homework? What did you learn today? When's your next exam coming up? All right. Explain this concept to me. They're like literally taking the A level with them. Or on the other hand of it, the other side of it, there's parents who are more standoffish and say, well, I didn't take A-level chemistry, biology, maths, Graham, so I can't help them out. And then really, I've got other children I have to raise. And, it's also, they also think that sometimes what it is that, well, the teen just has to basically work it out on their own. Okay. But it depends on what kind of parent you are and how you see your role in your teen's education. But the thing is this, look, A levels, they may be difficult. They may be the most difficult exam in the world. But they are passable with an A or an A star. They are. So yes, other teens, first off, number one, it is theoretically possible for your teen to earn an A or an A star in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, and maths. Otherwise, the exam board wouldn't put the grade on the exam, right? On the grading scale. Number two is that other teens have earned these top grades. Now, talking about chemistry, 1 out of 5 chemistry students will earn an A star, and 1 out of 3 will earn an A. So those are pretty good odds. Okay. And of course, there's always doctors coming out of the medical schools in this country. And so obviously students are getting into medical school. And so if it's possible for other teens to do it, then it's possible for your teen as well. Okay. Now, I do have a question for you, and I want you to leave this one in the chat. Okay. And so if you're watching the live, fantastic. If you're watching the replay, okay. But it's this one. Just let me know, what's the biggest challenge that your teen is facing right now in their A-level chemistry, biology, physics, or maths. All right. And then we can reach out, we can have a conversation, and we can help your teen secure the A and the A star in these subjects. Okay. Everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next one.